now for our message, and it's with great pleasure we welcome Unity Minister Grace Merrick. Welcome back to Unity of Melbourne, Grace. And all you have to do is unmute.
There we are, got it.
Gotcha.
The music has been absolutely amazing today, Bill. Thank you so much. That last song was just unbelievably awesome. Wasn't it, everybody? Clap.
Yes, yes.
Clap if you agree with me. It was lots and lots and lots of fun. Well, it's lovely to see you all here this morning, and I hope that I can entertain you. I've been thinking about this, getting ready for this talk for days, and I've been reading over and over the things in the Daily Word that I wanted to share and talk about, and I'm not sure if I'm going to present them in a proper order, but they'll come out somehow, and I hope we can all find some advantages in them. Those songs fitted in so well with the messages I'm coming up with this morning. It just makes my head spin. I love it. Thank you very much. So we've just had the Daily Word read to us by Leslie, which she did beautifully, but I'm going to use it again as part of my talk and experience it together with you. So don't say to yourself, oh, I've heard this before. Just say, okay, I've heard this before. Let's see where we go with it. And the word for today is divine life lives as me. I am whole and well. And it's based, as she told us, in him was life, and the life was the light of all people, from the gospel according to John. And so we know that life is life, and light is what we're supposed to be, don't we? Hands up those who have been told that before. We've all been told that before, but we're going to get it again. And it's something that we have to keep talking to ourselves about, I do believe. When I'm experiencing a healing need, I focus my thoughts beyond illness and discomfort. Even as I seek treatment for the injury or illness, I see myself whole. I remember that I am created in the image according to the likeness of God. Now I know my life is God's life living as me. Now, they're using the word God there, but I would prefer to think about it as being creative energy of the universe. And so I'm going to expect you to go along with me about that. The God of our understanding in our stuff is the creative energy of the universe, which is, as it says in the next verse, divine life fills every cell, strengthens every muscle, bone, and organ, and quickens every nerve in my body. It restores perfect order to all my body's functions, releasing and replacing anything unlike itself. Now we're talking about the creative energy of the universe. We're not talking about some picky, funny sort of energy up in the middle of the sky that's just looking down and saying, now I wonder if they're good enough for this. This is the creative energy of the universe, which is in every cell of our body. And one of the things, I can't help talking about this, one of the things that I've done with this concept over the years is, as I'm walking down the corridor or going somewhere to pick something up or doing something, just walking around my room even, I keep telling myself every cell of my body is vibrating with the universal life force. Now, do I do it all day, every day? And do I do it properly? And have I got it completely and all that stuff? No. But I do it. And I do it when I'm just doing nothing. Yes, so it's all right. We can do meditation and we can sit down and do that. But I like to do it when I'm doing, the housework or carrying the dishes to the kitchen or something like just ordinary day-like things, to say, God is with me in every cell of my body. And as I walk along the corridor towards the kitchen here, I think, oh, that is so great, because it's a nice concept that the light and the life of universal creative energy is within my body. Because the whole thing, the whole world, the whole universe, all the universes that we live in are all part of the same creative energy. There's nowhere in these universes we can go where we're not connected with the universal energy. When someone asks me to pray with them, I do not ask about their symptoms or circumstances. I affirm the healing activity of divine life in each one with whom I pray. I see them as the spiritual beings they are, whole and well. Just like those songs this morning, they were great, Bill. That was just tremendous. They were talking about this whole thing about the divine life and energy being visible, touchable within us as we proceed through our life, becoming spiritual beings fully. See, when we remember we're spiritual beings, it makes a tremendous difference to our whole life. I can't tell you exactly what happens in me when I do it. But when I really get it, I'm a spiritual being living a human life, sharing with other spiritual beings. It really, really turns something on in me. There was a thing in one of the things about the praying with people. In unity, we do not pray and beg people to be forgiven for their terrible sins and all that stuff. We don't do begging prayers. We do thanking prayers. We do celebration prayers. We do congratulations prayers. We do praising, praising, praising. We praise the spiritual energy within us. We praise the creative love within us. We praise the imagination within us. We praise whatever we find within us and say, thank you, that's from the creative energy of the universes. We praise and we do not beg. So many people, I hear them, they say they've been brought up to beg for forgiveness, for beg for healing, to beg for this, to beg for that. We are not beggars. We are creatures of the universe, created with the energy of universal love, universal life, universal energy, and universal focus. One of the things that fascinates me is not knowing how things happen. And I'm just going to interrupt the sort of thing about the focus of the universal praise and so forth. But some of you know I had a pacemaker put in a couple of weeks ago. And I didn't quite understand all about it. I'd seen a surgeon who actually did it, and I had met him and I thought he was wonderful and lovely. But I thought that I knew that he was good, but I had no idea what he was really going to do. I just knew that it was going to be all right. Well, what happened was, when I came out of the hole, they gave me a local anesthetic, not a whole general one, but enough to knock me right out. And when I came back into full consciousness and found out what had happened, I had a tiny pinprick size pinprick in the groin, where my leg meets the stomach. A pinprick, no blood. There had been one little bit of drop of blood had come out, but basically no blood. And I was absolutely gobsmacked because I have still not been able to find any cuts on any other part of my body. Now, Dr. Park was using a new invention in the pacemaker world. The original ones were sort of about that size, and they'd fit in the chest up here and so forth. This one is the size of a vitamin capsule and is attached to the left ventricle of my heart somehow with little things attach it. But how he got even that size thing of a vitamin capsule in through this tiny hole down in my groin, I will never know. But the thing is that it was done, and they let me go home the next day. And I tell you, my chest, my whole chest area has never felt so comfortable in all my life. Even as a child, there were anxiety, there were things going on in the chest. Now I have this complete freedom here, and it's absolutely awesome. And I still don't know how the heck he got the capsule thing in, but he did somehow, magic. So things go on in our lives that blow you away when you think about it. The old pacemakers used to be put in, and they'd take a few days for people to get used to because they were pretty big. But this little one had me out the day after. So here we are with new things going on in our lives. And I don't know how all the things happen, but I can praise that it's working. I can give thanks to the people who worked on it, the pacemaker thing with me. I can be so grateful, even if I don't understand how the heck they got it in properly. Anyway, so we don't have to know the how of anything. All we have to know is the inner goodness. It doesn't matter how something happens. The thing is that it does, and it's an inner goodness within it. So we say, thank you, God, for solution and progress. Now, on September 11th, there was a little paragraph in the Daily Word thing that said, I honor the sacredness of all life. In a consciousness of oneness, I honor the Spirit of God in all. Everything I see is the life of God expressing itself. Now, everything we see. Now, so many of us have judgment in our little heads about what we see out there. We see somebody doing something we don't like or something, and we judge them. That's not in divine order. And we see somebody else doing something and struggling with it and saying, no, you're going the wrong way. You're not doing it. That's not in divine order. And we're criticizing the way they're doing something. We have all these things that go on around us, but we don't honor the Spirit of God within them, because forever I have to keep remembering that if I or you or anyone is struggling to get something into their consciousness, into their understanding, it's possibly because of old beliefs that were there. And we have to be willing to let the old beliefs come up, and if we're lucky, we can see them and see what they are and say, oh, that's not true, that's an old belief. But we can accept that a lot of the things that are stopping us from seeing pleasure and beauty and enjoyment all around us, that all the things that are stopping us are old beliefs that we've come with from somewhere. So how do we get rid of the old beliefs? We have within us the capacity to say, I am going to only accept God's good wishes for me. I am only going to accept that I am part of the creative energy of the universes, and that energy is working in me for the good of all, not just me, all of the people in the universe. Because as I increase my knowledge of and awareness of the presence and the power of the creative energy in my body, so it's easier for me to share it with all of you. I can only see some of your photographs up here, but I'm sending that energy to you, knowing that you are a part of the creative energy of the universes. We often think we can't do things. Don't you? Hands up those who often think they can't do something. Am I the only one? Oh, no, I'm not. Didn't think I was the only one. We all have these little blocks that come up for us. But if we stop for a moment and say, no, I am part of the creative principle of the universe. The creative principle of the universe is around all the world. It's around all the sky, orbit, everything in the universes. It's everywhere, including in my room, in my body, in my beingness. The creative principle of the universes is here and now with me. And the creative principle of the universes is over there with you, Sheila, you, Aisha, Catherine, Sylvia, Leslie, Bill, all of you. The creative principle of the universes is with you and around you all the time. Now, are we expected to walk around remembering it all the time? No, most of us forget it from time to time. But whenever we're feeling, I'll talk about me, whenever I'm feeling down or depressed or something or spooked, I do eventually remember I need to get back to the presence and the power of the creative energy of the universes. I can grumble around in myself and do all sorts of stuff, and I promise you I do. And then I have to catch myself and say, no, let's go with truth. And there is. I look at my hand as I'm walking along in the corridor. I look at my hand, and in every finger, in my fingernails, in everything, there are bits and pieces of God mind operating. The creative principle of the universe is in my fingers, in my toes, in my ears, my teeth, my jaw. The creative principle of the universes is in every part of me. And so if I remember that, I manage to get through all sorts of things much better than if I was still glooming around in the situation. Now, this one back here on September the 11th, I honor the sacredness of all life. In consciousness of oneness, I honor the spirit of God in all. Everything I see is the life of God expressing itself. And that's what I've been talking about. If we will please get it into our darling heads that we are capable of seeing the presence of the creative aspect of the universes. I just love it. Anyway, another one on yesterday's was good fun too, because it said, I'm secure in the light of God within me and in the world. So this is what we're talking about, the light of God in me and in the world. We're seeing it in ourselves, we're acknowledging in ourselves, and we are feeling it in ourselves. We can put this into our bodies and into our lives as easily as that man was able to put the pacemaker in me, because we can do it with the things that we desire to feel and experience in our lives. I think everybody I know wants to feel comfortable with other people, with themselves, with the universe, you know, with culture, with all those things. I think most people want to feel comfortable. But if we realize that we're all part of one whole, we can feel totally comfortable in the presence and the power of the spirit of the universe. The light, love, and presence of God is within and around me always. Creative energy of the universe. I affirm this statement of truth, infusing my thoughts and feelings with power. See, the love, light, and presence of the creative energy being within us fills me with thoughts and feelings of power. Placing my attention on the creative energy of the universes causes my fear to subside and fade into nothingness. When I think, well, here I am, I'm being looked after by the creative principle of the universes. For goodness sake, what are you fussing about, Grace? Get over it. accept the presence and the power. One with spirit, I am secure and calm. I live each day with confidence and well-being. I pray for and behold my loved ones secure and protected, because I know with absolute faith that wherever they are, the creative principle of the universe is with them. Whatever they're doing, they are safely in these universes. Wherever they are, God is, the universal energy is. I respond to troubling events with prayer. As I pray, my loving, caring energy goes forth from me to all beings and our earth home. I pray for the divine protection of others near and far. I envision healing light enveloping all and encircling our beloved earth. So let's do that now. Let's take a few minutes to really turn within and to really turn to our own mind and to think of our beautiful mind as being a part of universal wisdom. Just for a moment, just quietly tell yourself that you have the wisdom of the universes available to you, within you, that you're not ignorant because you could know everything you needed, and that everything you need at any particular time in any particular day, the wisdom is right there with you. If you will, please really get that. Anything you really need to know or do is right there with you. The creative energy of the universe is breathing you. With each breath you take in, you're sharing it with the creative power of the universes. With every thought you think, you can turn it to the higher or greater, I'd rather say greater, level of universal consciousness. It's not higher, it's just greater. And it's so great and so big and available to us all, every moment of every day. Just for a moment, allow yourself to feel that creative energy. In every finger, in every toe, in your lips, your eyes, your brain, your heart, every single cell is creative energy. And for feeling it within our own body, and knowing it within the bodies of our friends and relatives, we say thank you. Thank you, thank you. And with joyful experience of the creative energy of the universe, we say, Amen. So let it be.
Wow. Thank you, Grace. I invite you to keep that space, and we'll come back in a minute after we hear this song.